Now to a meeting between two Premier League teams, Nottingham Forest and Southampton, at the City Ground in Nottingham. A frosty pitch and the 13,500 crowd came well prepared against the bitterly cold conditions. The temperature at kick-off well below freezing. Brian Clough's Forest side has had a disastrous start to the season and they're firmly placed at the bottom of the Premier League. The FA Cup provides welcome relief from their worries, especially as it remains the only major prize in English football that Brian Clough hasn't won. The commentators, Trevor Brooking and John Motson.
That was Hall, and it's been said by many professionals that the back pass interpretation will cause greater concern to defenders when the pitches get more difficult. We shall see. Gemmell, Clough's in the middle. Number 9, Crosby further over, number 7. Appeals by the crowd mainly against Benali for hands, but it's a corner. To be taken on the far side by Ian Wone. Back to Stuart Pearce. Here's Wone again. Oh, a missed kick by Adams. Crosby and Clough. Appeals for offside. Didn't see a flag, Trevor.
No, and Tim Flowers is waving to the lines and saying, why didn't I see a flag? This is a missed kick, which you're going to get a bit of this today. And in all honesty, it was a good chance. Nigel Clough trying to pick his spot, just losing his footing on his standing foot and didn't make a good contact.
And here's Cockrell with the header back in. Oh, and Le Tissier! And Southampton take the lead. And Matt Le Tissier with the header puts them in front with just under a quarter of an hour gone. A very simple goal.
Well, it's a very soft goal, isn't it? Look, Mark Crossley comes to punch, gets in the way with Tyler. The punch goes right into the middle of the goal, headed on, and really Matt Le Tissier just guides it. And once he's deflected it in the 6-yard box, no chance of recovery.
There's Moncau. Second time he was fouling Clough, or a combination of he and Benali. Clough takes the free kick to Pearce. Outside him is Wone. Pearce again. Oh, off the feet of Flowers, and luckily for Southampton it shot out to Moncau and not to one of the 3 Forest players who were waiting.
It only needs a foot to go out like that did offward. And it was a faint deflection, wasn't it? But again, good use of the legs and the feet, and Tim Flowers having a good game.
Keane, Crosby, came off Adams, Benali, Cockrell, corner, off Benali. The crowd start to get behind Forest a bit more now. There's and Keane get in behind him, and there's the equaliser. Roy Keane came in behind Stuart Pearce and got a firm header in, and Forest are level. A kiss of the shirt, but watch him come in here as the Southampton defender's attention is taken by Pearce. There's Keane, right in the corner.
Just wondered whether it was Richard Hall who was picking him up. I mean, he couldn't have got it closer into the corner. Marvellous header. Not much emotion there, but plenty in his side, because that was a vital goal, wasn't it, just before the interval.
Webb. Keane. Clough. Oh, well played. It's Keane again. Good save by Flowers. Well, that would have been 2 in 2 minutes for Roy Keane.
Terrific play by Keane and Clough. Superb layoff under that pressure from the defender, but what a marvellous save by Flowers. Low down like that to get to that was terrific.
This is Webb now, looking for Pearce on the far side. Goalkeeper's had an excellent half for Southampton. That was his 3rd important save and arguably his best. Pearce. Gemmell. Oh, that's another one! It's Neil Webb! It's Neil Webb's first goal since returning to Forest. And from 1 down, with barely a minute left in the half, Brian Clough's team are 2-1 up It's 2-1 to Forest. Brought a bit more atmosphere to the whole occasion. That's aimed at Letitia. Oh, he's found him! Letitia for Southampton, and the keeper did well. Letitia again, against the bar, and away by Pearce, who got there in front of Dodd. Well, so the second half starts very much the way the first half ended, with unexpected goal-mouth action. That came out of very little for Letitia, and he could so easily have squared it up there at 2-2. That's a free kick, it's got to be. Benali. Pearce! Good save by Tim Flowers. He just got to it again the second time. Bit of a collision, actually, as the player following in might have caught him inadvertently. That was a brave example of goalkeeping. It's Scott Gemmell, actually, who might have just collided with Flowers, Trevor.
Well, he had to go in on the ball because it did come away. I mean, he did very well to get his body behind it. It's the worst possible free kick, really, one bouncing in front of the goalkeeper like that.
Every time you see Forest play, you remind yourself they're bottom of the Premier League, and you have to remind yourself because their football... Crossed by Adams, Letitia! Oh, Pearce couldn't stop it! Was it over the line or not? The referee looked at the linesman, there's no flag. Play seems to have gone on, and over here on my side of the pitch, Perry Groves comes and remonstrates with the linesman and says, was that over the line? The ball in is by Adams. Watch for Stuart Pearce here. It comes off Letitia. Where was it? Not over, in my opinion, Trevor. Adams. Monkhouse coming in. And it was Groves. And there's the cross, and there's the header, and there's the save. Brilliantly turned aside by Crossley. I think it was Kerry Dixon who got the header in, Trevor. Bit must from me, that. I think it was Dixon.
Well, who knows, that might do Mark Crossley a lot of good, because the home supporters have been a bit frustrated and he's been at his criticisms, but Perry Groves hangs a fine ball towards the far post, headed it back across, and Crossley, changing direction, does extremely well.
And there it is, Nottingham Forest are through to the fourth round of the FA Cup, to mark Brian Clough's 18th anniversary in charge. Roy Keane's dynamic header put them back in the game at 1-1, and then a piece of magic from Neil Webb gave them a half-time lead, which in an exciting second half remained untouched despite scares at both ends. So Webb's goal is the winner, and the final score at the City Ground, the players doing awfully well in the conditions, players on both sides. Nottingham Forest 2, Southampton 1.